All right, so what's the world's most accurate personality test? Hexaco.
Hexaco is the world's most accurate personality test. Now, there's different kinds of personality tests, like the Myers-Briggs personality test, if you've heard of it. Shout out ENTP. But from time to time, what you'll notice is that the consensus of what the most accurate personality test changes. So, currently, as of 2020, Hexaco is the most accurate personality test. And in the future, maybe it'll be different. Anyway, that being said, let's get right into it. Alright, first thing you gotta do, you can literally just Google Hexaco, but I'll put a link down below. The best way to get results of these personality tests is to be absolutely honest with the answer. So even if you feel it might be morally wrong, like there's a question here somewhere where it's like, do you make $1 million, or would you make $1 million if you could cheat and get away with it, or something like that. So it asks some brutal personal questions which you might not even admit to yourself, but if you're really, really honest, then this personality test is also very accurate. So the general gist of it is they'll give you 100 questions, and these questions vary from different topics. And what they're trying to do is figure out a rounded view of what your personality really is. Now, some of these questions are actually placeholder questions where they're like, this is a attention check, which just tells me already that the vast majority of people have some attention issues in their life, which is why you even have to have an attention check for a 100 questionnaire personality test. Now, one of the good things about this personality test that I found is that it's free and pretty much available to anyone that wants to take it. There's no ads, there's no fluff that all these other random personality tests on the internet give you. So I think what they're really trying to do is trying to gather as much data as possible to give you a reflection of where you land within the standard deviation. Alright, once you're finished with the personality tests, you're going to be introduced to the results. Now, the results are very interesting. As you can see over here, there's some dots, there's some lines, and there's this gray bar in the middle. And then there's these numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Basically, the best way to read this is that 1 is the lowest, 5 is the highest. Where are you in this? You're going to be the dot. So whatever your result is going to be displayed in the dot. So if it's close to 5, then most likely that's what you are. The gray bar is 80% of people's scores. So this is the range in which most people usually land. You see the little red line? That red line determines where most people on average would be landing. If you see the gray being wider on one side than the other, that means most people on average would actually fall under that scale. So the reason you want to take this test is because it gives you a good idea of where you stand. So things that might trigger you might not trigger other people, and things that you're completely okay with might actually blow a fuse on someone else. Now here's the thing, this is so crazy because I never thought I had any anxiety, but according to this I have a 5 on anxiety, which is actually out of the fucking charts, which makes a lot of sense. Some of the questions, when you answer them, like I said, you'll be surprised by some of the results here. And the more I think about it, the more it makes sense that anxiety is an issue. Because I really do have this tendency. I'll order Uber Eats, like, you know that GPS, you see the person go closer and closer to your home, and it's like 3 minutes away, 2 minutes away. And then for some reason their internet doesn't work, so it just stays at 2 minutes away for a good 6 minutes, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Do I gotta call this person? Do I gotta call the restaurant? What's happening? But all those things are indicators of anxiety. And now that I think about it, I have a shit ton of that. So it's cool that this personality test nailed that. This is a very interesting stat. Look at this, greed avoidance. The fact that this range goes from 1.38 to 4 is a very interesting thing. It means that people greatly vary in this personality trait. According to this, I actually have slightly less than average agreeableness. But if you look at the actual data, you can see what's happening here is I lack forgiveness. I didn't even understand this about myself. But now that I look back at it, every single person who did me wrong, I know some of my haters are watching this video. Yo, you better watch out, yo. I have no forgiveness. 0. If there was a 0, it'd be a 0, just so you know. 0 forgiveness. But I'm also gentle. I'm like a Gentile. Way above the average. Look at this. 2.25 to 4.13. So I'm overly gentle. However, If you do me wrong, then zero forgiveness. I got chips on chips on chips on my shoulder, fam. I'm telling you. And I have low patience too. So when it comes to gentleness, the gentleness lasts for maybe 5 minutes, and then I go straight to wrath. Yeah, that's what this chart is telling me right here. Organization being 1.25. This is my second lowest score right after non-forgiveness. So I'm way below the lower end of this. And the average person is surprisingly very organized. That's crazy. The average person is 3 times more organized than me. Alright, so there you have it. Make sure to take the personality test yourself and keep the results to yourself. Don't overshare like what I just did. And yeah, hopefully you're not crazy. You can cross-reference with my personality and see if we would be best friends or if we'd be worst enemies. Alright, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.